I was up early this morning, so I thought, why the fuck not be here as long as the anyway, like 8 hours, ain't it? If I make it that long. Uh, I'll put the link below. Anyone wants to join. Open topic, whatever you want to talk about. I'm gonna paint and shit and talk and uh, whatever. Um, um, I don't watch. I hadn't watched no looked at no news and no nothing like that. So I have no idea about anything right now. I'm just art is freedom. That's my freedom. Um, so oh shit, and I've got to open another book of art paper. I totally forgot. I used the last one last night. Um, but yeah, here we go. Fucking shit. A new book. So yeah, the spiral. Yay. And it says I can tear it out, but okay. This ain't as thick as the other, damn it. So maybe it'll be do okay. Uh, I'm gonna start doing back translation sometime next week. I don't know. So and whatever. Maybe. And orange. Hey. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Keep my hair out of my face there. Anyway, that was static electricity. Uh, so they're on that on sunglasses. So um, I'm getting situated here. Sorry, whoever, if anybody's even watching, whatever. Um, I know, like I said, it's early, but I don't have no day off till like next week sometime. So which one was the front? Okay. Shit. Oh well. Let me see here. I had made a video. We went to town this morning, and I may upload it still yet, but I don't know. Um, just uh, putting thoughts down, and I thought, hey, I'll just do this, and maybe I'll end up saying it anyway. So who knows? Maybe I will. It won't be for word, but um, y'all know I don't give a fuck about views and stuff. So give me a minute here. I got to get my rest of my stuff ready, and I think I heard somebody outside. I think. Did you hear somebody outside? No, she didn't. She's got headphones on. Anyway, I'll be back. Oh, and the link is below. Anybody wants to join, just so you know, whatever. You want to join, not. Okay, whatever. That's cool. See, I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm not. Well, I'll do this while I'm nobody's here, and I ain't got to put my headphones on yet. So, um, yeah, um, yeah, like the show says, art is freedom. Whatever you want to talk about. If anybody's watching, and my cat is weird. Anyway, um, I've been doing a lot of talking, and it's like, has anybody been listening to me? What did that happen? If anybody listening, I don't know. I don't really talk to many people anymore. Not by choice. Um, so, uh, well, somebody, whatever. I don't care. Um, like we say, we've all got our own path to go, and um, all we can do is try and do our best. You know, we're not perfect. We'll fuck up and make mistakes and shit like that. But um, we're all human, you know. So um, and you know, I see people share memes, whatever, and saying, live each day like it's your last. You know, I don't see that on here. I really don't. Um, it's sad. Um, there's some people on here you may never fucking talk to again. It'd be your really good friends. You can probably never, one day be click, gone, no more internet. Or, oh, sorry, this person fucking hates you now. They don't want to talk to you anymore, blah, blah, blah. You know how that goes. But, you know, um, like I said, we're all people, make mistakes, and say what's. I, I hold back a lot. Y'all just don't know. I really do, and I shouldn't. But it's like I talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and it's like nobody's fucking listening. Or the people I'm talking to, they're the ones I'm directing it at. They're not listening. Um, but it's I'm really, 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 really. I don't even know the word. Um, it's not frustrated. Um, Where the fuck did I put that? Ah, I lost something. There it is. Not frustrated. It's like I said, people on here, where the fuck did it go? They say, meanies go around. Live each day to the fullest. Live it like it's your last. Right? Bullshit. Full of shit. A lot of people that post that, because you don't. You really don't. I know I try to and not hold grudges against people, because that's what that fucking means. Don't hold grudges against people. Don't stay mad at people forever. Like I said, we're all human. We all fuck up, make mistakes. You may not ever get an I'm sorry. Or you might just, just look at them and say, you can see in their eyes, if you can see their eyes, that they're sincere. Like I said before, the intent and the way they carry their voice and like my cat. Anyway, you can tell a lot by someone looking in their eyes as they're speaking to you, if they're sincere, and the emotion in their voice, if they're sincere. And anyway, that's part of one show that got took down on mine. It's all gone because it's the world we live in. Um, you can't say this, you can't say that, or you're just the user on here of this account. They can say, click, you can't do this anymore. So that our days are numbered on here for everybody, so in more ways than you know. They could just say, hey, click. That's just the way they I don't know. They could do whatever they wanted. With that, as far as that goes, they could cut you off, or the Google, boot you out your own Hangouts. Trolls come in and delete everybody out of your chat box and kill your Hangout. And they have pay people to come in and fucking do that shit and flag your fucking shit, and you just can't. This place is not. We're sitting here talking to each other that already know all the shit we're talking about, and I have been trying more to do that here. Who will listen? It's not getting through. Most cases. But hey, try and try and try. If you can't convince that person, move on to the next. But this is And like I made the video, you know, why are we still here? You know, and it said, why are we still here? You know, we just shared just what I just said. And it's true, yeah. We're just here sharing, getting on here. We would get on here or whatever and say all this stuff that we know and stuff. And same people in the chat usually, and everybody knows it. And that's true for the most part, you know. And then I made another one, why we are still here. Why we are still here. Why are we still here? It's like I've said, you know, I've made a lot of friends on here, met a lot of people, and probably pissed off a lot of people too. But the thing about that is, you know, that people 9 times out of 10 jump the gun and say, hey, why did you do that? Why did you say that? You don't, people don't bother to ask your reasoning behind certain things. But hey, judge not, lest ye be judged yourself. That's from the fucking Bible, I know, but it's true. Who are we to get on here and judge each other? I've said this many times. You don't live my life. I don't live your life. So we have no real way of knowing unless telling each other. That's what I was getting to, you know, being there for each other and helping each other through. That's why we're still here. Putting out good vibrations. That's what I've been trying to do. But anyway, I know it's early for a lot of people. Hey, Dad, whoever else is watching there. But yeah, we're only human. I could hide my eyes. How's that? But I don't believe in that. Because the eyes are the windows to your soul. And like I said, you can tell a lot about a person by, you know, you talking with them and then looking in their eyes and seeing what they're saying is true because you can see it. You can see it and feel it here and here, mostly here. But I'm not frustrated, I guess. I'm to the point now where I just want to do the art. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, I know a lot of stuff. I'll still probably research stuff. Anyway, it's not a main priority of me. Y'all know me, y'all that do. We've all got our struggles we've got to go through, our path to walk, and that's all I'm trying to do. But some people might not like some things you do. But like I said, you're not walking that path. You don't know. You don't know unless you ask that person. I threw something earlier and I need to go pick it up. You know me, I don't get angry and shit often. If I do, it's for good reason. So, move cat. Fucking, I'm sick of the schoolyard. How else can I put it? The crap. So, cut the crap, people. We're all here for the same reasons. Cut the crap. If you don't like somebody, don't hold it against another person if they talk to that said person. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you don't know the reasons behind it. But I will be right back because I'm about to get busted in here. That's funny, Collie man. What if there's no eyes? Ha 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 ha. Yeah, some windows are broken. Like I was saying, cut the crap, people. Anyway, the link is below. Anybody wants to join here and speak their piece, get it off your chest. Anyway, I'm sorry, it's really loud here. But yeah, like I said, cut the crap. We're all people here. If you got something to say, come on and say it. Open show. However long I can keep it on. but the cameraman is on. Just so y'all know, I'm not on the screen here. Just give me a minute, but I'll probably be on the screen anyway. So I might do some decoding these paintings and stuff. Maybe paint a picture. We'll see if I feel like it. So, they, uh, so let me see which. Well, I said that on the show that got deleted, Calling Man, about the soul. If that's how I know it's real, you feel it. So, but that all got deleted by YouTube. So, all of that's gone. That's what I I talked about that a lot. You know, the intent behind somebody's voice and looking in their eyes and see that they're speaking their truth, what they believe to be true, and uh, the soul. You know, if you can feel it, it's that's the way I feel. Uh, so yeah, it, but and like I talk a lot about the ESP stuff, and uh, you can even sense people and their feelings and stuff. So and it goes both ways. That, like I've said, you know, some people may not even know they're doing certain things, sending you certain things. Some do, some don't. Just be aware uh, of your thoughts because they can hurt people too, as well as words. And I know, like I've said, I've fumbled on my words a lot, and I apologize for that. And like I said, we're only human. Nobody's perfect. I can unprove you don't have a soul. What? Okay, Dad. Whatever. um, I prove you can. You do. You feel. You feel it here, 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 here. Where? Yeah. Whatever. Um. So. If you want to join, like I said, it's below. Um. Open top. Get it off your chest. That's Eric's show. Uh. But that's what I've been doing since I started. I'm gonna fucking paint and shit. But I still may yet. But a lot. Like I said, I hold back a lot, and I shouldn't. Um, Still a lot I could say, but like they say, you got to watch your words because words hurt too, and like thoughts. Um, Chemical triggers. Eh, somewhat, I would think, but not 100%. Uh, I'm no expert. Okay, you're at the box, baby. Okay, Mind Twister. Okay. Anybody, like I said, wants to join the links below. You can join, pop in and out. It'll be open for a while. So, I thought, hey, I'm up early. Why not? So, here I am. And I'm not done ranting and raving. A little bit been ranting. And it's silly how, like I've said, people say live each day to the fullest, right? And like I said, bullshit. I call bullshit because most people don't. They take shit for granted. That certain people are always going to be there, or they're not. Like we said, we're only human. We're only here for a certain amount of time, and we're gone. Moved on to the next life, and like I said, people take that for granted. And like I said, I don't think I said this in my video. We lost another family member to cancer here a week or so ago. I didn't even know they had cancer, and she was ate up with it. Nothing they could do. So, but that's why it's most important to do that. Live each day like it's your last, even if you forgive others, and even if they don't say I'm sorry, you said that, and makes you it's for you more than them. So but I hate Windows 10. It keeps popping up crap. But yeah, the soul. You have a soul. We all do. Well, almost all of us. I don't think, like they say, you don't have no soul. I don't think that's it. I think it's the soul has been corrupted. And that's what makes people do bad things. My opinion, my observations. Oh my God. But anyway, listen. A lot of ways you can get corrupted. We've seen it happen to friends and family, and it's really sad. Like I said, I have to mute off and on because it gets loud. So.
Hi, Bucky. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Let me see if I gotta cut my volume up. I had it down. I hear you.
Okay. As long as my signal is.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure if what I'm going to say. I'm still trying to digest this sandwich. Yeah, you mentioned the word soul, and I just made a post, which was something that kind of just I found myself thinking about again just a moment ago before I noticed that you were doing a broadcast.
Yeah.
And it's a question I posed to myself. And then you saw me. I think you're the one who saw me post it, actually, and probably be ignored by everyone else. Here it is, my little post. Some food for thought. When you sit in a dark room and close your eyes, then dream. Where is the light coming from? And
I saw that.
yeah, for me, I mean, you know, when you mentioned the soul, I'm thinking, is that potential evidence for the soul? So I'm not going to give you the answer because I don't know. It's just something that I like to philosophize upon as evidence of something. You know. So there you go.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, imagine you. I mean, you know, you can be in a pitch black room with your eyes closed. You can even. I mean, I don't recommend putting a sack over your head or anything. I mean, you probably wouldn't need that. And then you enter the dream world. Where is the light coming from? Where are the visions you are seeing? How is that light generated? And people will say, oh, the scientist might say, oh, it's neurons firing in the noodle. And the esoteric man, or maybe a philosopher, or man or woman, or woman or man, whatever, may come to a different conclusion. And for me, it's a clue, a potential massive clue that gives me, when I think about it, when I ponder about it, it gives me that, you know, light bulb on the head, you know, the big aha feeling, pondering upon this. And for me, I really suspect it may be a form of evidence for what people may call the spirit, the soul, the light body is a term that I've come across. And And I don't know, I kind of what do I say? I was throwing a barmy again yesterday. Had too much beer. Often leads to that barminess or nuttiness. Sometimes my frustrations just come straight out, and I ended up saying what I meant to a few people, but again, I did actually mean what I was saying, really. So I don't have to take it back. It's just that sometimes things are kind of maybe best left unsaid, or are they? Maybe they do need saying, and maybe I'm wrong. But I don't believe for a second some man-made book that's given to us as some kind of where they're saying that you will be punished by some invisible force that they call God. Apparently, it's often apparently a man. Sometimes people have suggested it's a woman. And I was just watching this this kind of guru fellow. I mean, I'm not looking for leaders or gurus, but definitely one of the coolest guru types I've been across. I posted a couple of things as well on the Google Plus there from this guy. What's he called? Doesn't put his name there. He has a name beginning with S. Well, I'll try and find out the name in a minute. And he was saying something along the lines of, well, a man in this world may imagine a larger version of himself, and that would be like a manly god figure. And he was saying something about the buffalo. A buffalo may imagine a gigantic buffalo god, a larger version of itself. It was some interesting suggestions he was making. You know, a lady may envision a female god. You know, in some places. It's why would I take somebody else's word or claim for what God may or may not be without any evidence apart from some scribbling in a book that we're supposed to take at basically, you know, unquestioning. No, I really got sickened by. I find it sickening that just about every person I've been meeting in Hangouts and kind of different video chats and stuff on the internet, I just suddenly realized again that they're all doing this particular religious thing, and I'm thinking, oh God, here we go again. If there is a God. I'm saying, like, oh God, is there a God? You know, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. What do I know? I have had, having said that, you know, I have had experiences that, that where the spirit soul has left the body and come back. And one of the main reasons I don't think those experiences have been hallucinations is because I was actually describing real events from outside my body that actually happened down here in the physical world. So, I mean, I can't prove this to you or to anybody else, but for my own purposes, it demonstrates something profound. You know, it gives me that big wow feeling and the light bulb going off on the noodle again. So I'm just putting that out there as food for thought.
Mm.
And yeah, another thing that I did mention in a comment somewhere on because I just kind of threw it in a comment there somewhere on one of your posts, because of the squirrel skunk dream that you were describing, if I'm allowed to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was maybe 2 or 3 days ago or something, and I'm lying here on my bed, having this wonderful dream where this kind of lovely Burmese cat is in here with the room, in the room with me, and in the dream, the room is exactly as it is as when I got my eyes closed or open. You know, it was exactly the same as when I had my eyes open in the waking state. And I thought, oh, this lovely cat. And so I got hold of the cat, and then it wanted to get away straight away. And I thought, oh no, you want to go already? And then, you know, I let the cat go, and I was thinking, well, in the dream, actually, I was thinking, how did the cat get in here? Because there's no open door or window. But then, so I woke up from the dream, and the dream was so realistic. One of those very realistic dreams. Hard to tell the difference between the dream and the waking state sometimes. And then I go to the door to open the door and have a look outside. It was daytime, and there was fresh snow on the ground. Lo and behold, there were cat footprints going from one direction all the way up to my door, and then going away in another direction. Now, of course, when I told this, well, it's not of course, but I told this to mentioned it just actually really to tell the lady at the shop, very nice lady who works at the shop, happens to be a neighbour of mine, lovely people, and but I wanted to see her reaction as well. At the same time, I was giving her the story. So I asked her, do you want to hear something a bit mystical? And she says, oh, well, yes, what's that? And I said, well, I just woke up from that dream, and I described the cat story. And she says, oh, that's an interesting coincidence. And I'm saying, well, some people may think it's a coincidence. Other people might think it's something else, you know. And it may go deeper than that. But I didn't say any more than that. I just left it there. I'm not going to start arguing with someone about, oh, but it's like, I think there's more to it than this. She just showed me straight away that she just straight away puts it down to coincidence. She seemed so sure about her conclusion about my dream. So there, she showed me something about how far out of the box she's willing to look in those areas anyway, if you know what I mean, which I'm sure you do. And anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's any more of a coincidence than your skunk squirrel dream. I think it's. I think there's definitely something going on.
Well, it's like I've said, everything that's happening up to this point, I didn't know was going to happen. So, that's what sucks.
What, do you remember that story? What's that movie? That movie. Oh, I think it begins with. It's kind of a fantasy movie. Thrall? No, Thrall? No. Oh, what's it called? Something like that. Not Thrill, but Thrall or something. I've got the wrong word here. Help me out here. You might know the movie I'm talking about. Krull? Oh, maybe it's Krull or... I'll try looking it up. I've got a mental block here. I'm going to try looking up I think maybe it's Krull. Anyway, in the movie I'm thinking about, there's kind of a Cyclops-like figure. He has one eye. And he could see his own... He could see into the future. He could see into the future, but he could also see his own destiny, which was his own death. And that was the reason he was so sad, which I thought was an interesting touch in that film. Yeah, Krull, a 1983 British-American science fantasy film. If you haven't seen it, you might like it. I don't know. I thought it was really, I really enjoyed that movie. It's Krull, Krull. Yeah. Doesn't have the wonders of CGI or CGG, whatever you want to call it, special effects or anything, but it does have very good effects. It's very nicely filmed. There's some, and there's a lot of mysticism in that film, and mystical things going on, you know. So, amongst other things, that's what you got me thinking of now. This one-eyed kind of Cyclops type figure in that Krull movie.
There's Eric.
Right, Eric.
It's get it off your chest, but it's not titled "Get It Off Your Chest." Everybody welcome. Everybody welcome. So.
Oh, is that what this is called? Get it off your chest.
No, already read them.
Okay.
So. I don't usually do these type of shows. Just whatever's on your mind, if you feel you need to say to get it out.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to get anything off my chest, I suppose I've already insinuated it, really. I mean, I just, organized religion just disturbs me. And it disappoints me when I meet people, and they can be perfectly nice people, of course. There's nothing necessarily wrong with them otherwise, in my opinion. And then they suddenly start doing the hallelujah and the Jesus thing, and I think, or some other religion, and I'm thinking, too bad. And then start preaching the gospel and the this and the that to me, and I'm thinking, give us a break. Now I've seen that, as if I haven't heard of it before now. I mean, I grew up in Europe in 3 different countries. You can't get away from these blooming scriptures.
I got approached by Jehovah's Witness in town today. So.
Oh, God, burn it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had them on the door here. I've had Mormons on the door several times as well. What did they say to you?
Just gave you a pamphlet. That's it.
Oh, that was it, was it? Charles Taze Russell, he was a Mason, and he also has a very pyramidal monument. You can look it up on the net and see pictures of this pyramid monument. Charles Taze Russell, the Jehovah. I think that was the guy who originated the Jehovah's, yeah, or at least one of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
I got stuff to say. It's noise in the background a lot here, so that
Right.
and yeah, like I was saying earlier, God damn it.
Why don't you go and you'll find a roll of duct tape and then just tape it all up.
Yeah, right.
Put a sock in it.
That don't work.
Say, I'm freaking well broadcasting, folks. Show some respect, please.
Hey man, you got family. You know? Yeah. Anyway.
You can well, can't you find like a little cupboard or a nook or granny in the house somewhere where
No.
Oh dear.
Okay. Maybe I can say some things now.
Okay.
Maybe. If I can get the words. No, I don't know. It's, you know me, I try to, I don't know. You can't please everybody, I found, you know.
Yeah.
You try to help people and think, you know, don't expect nothing in return. You know, just you know, for them to be there for you when you need it. And
that's kind of expecting.
Anyway. Huh?
You know, I said that's kind of expecting something. But if you do something,
well, kind of, but that's what I say on here: be there for each other, to help each other.
You know, but sometimes the expectations they just come up short due to human error. You know, let's just charge it to that because we can't always do what we promised to do due to circumstances changing. It may not even be our fault. Other things happen or occur that prevents us from actually doing for you like I said I was going to do. You know, but I think when you do get an opportunity to do for your brother or your sister, you should go all out 110%.
You know, mate, I try to do that.
Yeah,
I try to do that. You know, even, you know, people may think certain people don't deserve you to help them or to even talk to them, but you know, everybody deserves another chance at things, you know, no matter what. And like I said, they may not say they're sorry,
Yeah.
but that's for you to forgive them for yourself. You know, I like I said, I hold back a lot, and I really shouldn't. But
I think forgiveness is kind of overrated.
man, I mean, we're no different than them. Then, if you can't fucking forgive people,
Well,
that's
see,
the way I see.
the thing
Huh?
about forgiving is subjective. It comes with
It's not for
situation.
them though. It's for you. It's for you, for your peace of mind. That's what I mean.
You know, even though I can say I forgive you, but every time I see you, you know I'm gonna think about that shit.
Right.
That's just the way the mind works. That's why the Bible try to play on your thinking, saying that cash into a sea of forgetfulness. It's just like every time I see you, I can be constantly reminded and not forgetting what you've done to me. You know, the least little thing sometimes could tick it off. You know, you say I'm expecting you to respond a certain way, and then you don't, and then we can have a reoccurring of the previous issues. And that's why forgiveness is overrated to me, because you know it's based upon, you know, like say for instance, if you had an encounter with the person that molested you, you ain't gonna never forget that. So it's gonna be hard to activate that total forgiveness, because
That's
every time
true.
you're gonna be reminded of them touching you in an inappropriate way.
Yeah.
That's a sad example, but that's the strongest one I could use.
Yeah.
I was thinking as well that yeah, you might help someone out, and like you were saying, I mean, I don't expect anything in return, but and then let's say the person you're helping like rips you off or does something terrible, or kills your mummy or something, or you know, whatever it would be, and then you think, well, I might not forgive that person, but I certainly won't be going to help them out anymore.
Mm.
Yeah. And then you got to look at the example with God and the devil, right? You supposedly had a war in heaven and everything like that, but yet you still get to mess with Job. You still get to mess with Jesus. You still get to mess with God's so-called people. So it's just like, you know, his level of forgiveness and forgetting is way more extreme according to the story than our actual reality, because I always complain, why don't you kill this motherfucker and get it over with? But his level of forgiveness, according to the story, is way more higher than my reality, because I wouldn't allow it. If you stole from me and I see you on the bus stop, I'm not picking you up. You're getting a ride by. You might get shot at.
Mm. But like we've said, each situation is different.
Right.
And like I said, you know, you gotta before you jump to conclusions, you gotta see and know the reasoning behind said person's actions. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because every situation is different. You may think you know, but you don't know. The reasons behind this person's actions. And all you gotta do is call them and ask them, hey, what the fuck? You know?
You know, I mean, it's easy to say I'm sorry, mean that you're sorry. Some things have to be proven. Because if we have an argument on here, right, and I say, oh, yo, I'm sorry, I apologize for being disrespectful, and then tomorrow you do the same fucking thing, it's just like we ain't learned from the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just the thing about that. So then you start making executive decisions. Well, I just can't be around this person. And then you don't even examine yourself to wonder why. It's always pointing the finger at the other guy.
Mm.
When the people on the panel clearly know what happened, but you can get into self-denial, self-pity, highway or the highway, and then, it's just the next day air.
Mm.
That's why I said forgiveness is overrated. It's subjective. It's always changing. It's different. You never know which way it's going to pop off, because I can give you another chance, show and hang out, but that don't mean I forgave you. And
Yeah.
This is from the heart. It's deep. The apology is surface. You hit them with the quick "I'm sorry" just to please the people. Deep in your heart, every time you see that person, you still want to relive that one issue that caused you problems. And until you really deal with it at the root, you'll never really be able to forgive a person 100%. And then some things a sorry can't even do.
Yeah.
It's one time this guy had said something. I had just met this guy, right? And he had said something about my mother passed away. So I was kind of hurt. But because he didn't know, and he was just being who he is, so I pretty much gave him a pass because give him a pass for that, because he don't really know me. He was just probably making a gesture, or man, your mother, whatever. Because that's what we do sometimes. We say shit like that, having knowledge of knowing. But then when I did tell him that my mother died, he apologized immediately. The difference, whether he meant it or not. But I think because he did it with the quickness, I think that's what made it show more proof that he really meant it. Because he jumped on it immediately. He didn't really say, oh, a whole bunch of other shit, I'm sorry. No, he was like, yo, my bad on that. I apologize about your mother. He banged right back straight. So it could have just been good for the moment, because you had a lot of people in the room. He could have just been, because he was an arrogant motherfucker. He from East Baltimore. So it's just like, I gave him a Baltimore pass. So, yeah. Things are different.
Well, I'm thinking in my childhood, certain things I went through, and especially one teacher, without having to describe everything that teacher did to me. No, I don't think I can forgive that person, but you do have to move on in life and hopefully learn from the experience, learn something. But I don't feel I need to forgive that person for anything, for not for my own sake. It's just a learning experience, that something I survived. And then I'm thinking, no, I don't. But you have to move on. Sometimes it's a challenge, because some of the things that have been done to me throughout my lifetime, I get these, and I'm probably not the only one who gets grudge feelings. You look back on your life and you think, oh,
right.
I get a grudge feeling, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe forgiveness of a sort would help somewhat, and there again, maybe not. It might be You know, some people say forgive and forget. I would say maybe try and forgive, but don't forget.
Right, exactly. Because why am I made to forget it? Understand if it was real painful, you might not want to be reliving that pain. But why am I made to forgive it? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
or to forget it, to erase it from my memory. Like sometimes we are just too quick to say, "Hey, just forget about that. Don't worry about that." Like, no, let's deal with that shit sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aggressive. That's what. Matter of fact, that's what the elite would say. That's aggressive. Because if you don't stand up for anything, you'll fall for everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so stand up to the bully. You know, the bully was something else because I met him in the alley every morning. You know, he took my money and everything, right? So one time when I hooked school, I got an ass whooping for it. But see, my mom ain't know why I was hooking school.
Right.
See, if I'd have been honest with my mother and said somebody was fucking with me, then would probably wouldn't even occur, or it probably wouldn't even have been as bad. Why I hooked, I still didn't tell the truth. So it's just like if you lying to your parents, communicating with your parents, or your parents not communicating with the child, you're gonna have some problems.
Yeah, it's funny. You were experiencing that too. I had that happen a few times. Like this gang trying to get money off me on the street corner there outside the pub on the way down Fifth Cross Road. Anyway, oh yeah. Yeah, no, what a crazy world! What a crazy world! I'm Becky was saying earlier about, you know, sometimes I don't know if I'm quoting her correctly, but what she reminded me of was sometimes one can remind oneself of the little one has and be happy about that too. I'm doing that a lot recently because I'm thinking I've got a roof over my head and I've got food, so it's not always I've had that, but those who haven't. Not had, or those who have always had whatever the silver spoon throughout life, you know, everything handed on a platter to them, in my experience, are the ones who show often least empathy for those who are in need or in a difficult situation and stuff. You know, one example of that is when I've been hitchhiking. It's usually people, in fact, mostly it was people who'd been hitchhiking at some point or other in their life. Who knows what it's like to have to stick your thumb out to try and get somewhere, you know. So they knew what it was like, and they had some empathy for it because they recognized the situation, you know. There's this. And then I've only had one exception to that, and that was one guy, like a super rich guy in this flashy car, who stopped for me once when I was hiking from Valencia to. In fact, I walked most of the way from Valencia to Andalusia to Jaén, and this guy stops and he said, I was quite surprised, and I thought, flipping heck. First time I've ever seen what looks like a blooming multi-millionaire stopping for me here. I get in the car and he says, and he says to me, if it's all right with you, you know, maybe I shouldn't be letting people into my car because I actually got a boot full of explosives. And I thought, blimey heck, you know, everything comes at a price these days. So apparently he was transporting some plastic explosives or some nasty stuff from one place to another, and in a slightly unusual way. But anyway, there you go. That was the only rich man that ever stopped. Otherwise, it was usually like broken down old cars and rusty old rust buckets that were stopping for when I put my thumb out. So those who have been there themselves recognize the situation. And but the silver spoon person often really couldn't give a monkeys.
Yeah, no doubt. See, I'm thinking like in some cases in the Black conscious communities, like Brother Polite talked about it one time, or a few other people talked about it, when the Bible talks about when Jesus said, "The poor you'll have with you always." But see, you can't just quote that shit without talking about the rest of it, because the whole key to that, he was like, "Hey, the Son of Man ain't gonna always be here, but the poor people are gonna always be here," meaning that you can provide for them anytime, but in a couple of hours, my last day gonna be here. So hey, grab me that bucket of water. So see, in some cases, just quote stuff because we just trying to prove a point on making money and not being poor. Hey, if it's your choice to be rich, hey, be rich. Because if you ain't worrying about getting into a God's kingdom or whatever like that, do you? But don't start banging on the Bible and its quotes because you want money. To make Jesus look bad, or the image of Jesus look bad, the way he dealt with the poor, because you don't give people no money. Because that's what it was about too. Because the Bible said that Judas, it wasn't like he was going to share the money with the people. So yeah, it ain't like when you get your millions, you're going to really share your money with people anyway. You almost saw on the TV flashing $10,000, but now that the LAPD is behind you, you asking for donations. I'm like, yo, take that 10 grand that you were showing on TV and put that to your motherfucking lawsuit. Don't come asking me for money. So see, the rich beg for the poor, or take from the poor so much. It's just like the homeless situation in Baltimore is crazy. I mean, it's crazy. They actually moved the whole tent nation. It ain't even there no more. I don't even know where these people got bust off to. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like they put a gated fence around it and everything, removed all the tents. It's like, I don't know where the people are. It's crazy. They pretty much removed them. The mayor got these people removed permanently.
Mm.
So then what's crazy, I see this old doctor, white man, saying, no disrespect, homeboy got a sign and an iPhone. So I wonder what the fuck just happened to this man to get him to come out on Baltimore and Martin Luther King Boulevard to hold a sign, a cell phone with some fresh ass kicks. Homelessness is this.
Mm.
Crazy here, a loss of a paycheck is a loss of a life. Like fuck the loss of a sword is a loss of a life. It's fucking over with. Short from being homeless.
I've got this video.
Disapproval. One debit card disapproval from being homeless.
Got this. Oh yeah. Well, one thought there. People are often saying that money is the root of all evil, but I tend to turn it the other way around. I might have said this before, but I'll say it again. That actually it's evil that is the root of all money, because it's a tool, and it's only worth the value given to it, really. And you can't eat it, although you can try. Probably won't give you a lot of nutrition. And then I was just wondering, can I just? I wonder how long it is. Let's see how long it is. It's 4 minutes and 19 seconds long. Can I screen share this vid with you all?
What is it?
Well, it's a guy called, well, he says his English name is Stephen. He's a native Australian who has something to say about something, which resonates with me. It may not do the same to you. It's about 4 minutes long.
Right.
Okay, I'll try and share my screen. Oh, hang on, where's the thingy? Because I wanted to kind of quote him, but why do that when I've got the video at the ready here anyway? So I'm not sure if that's yeah, that should be showing. Where is it? Where is it? Wrong one. Wrong one. Is it this one? Here we go.
English name is Stephen, and my second English name is Goldsmith. I grew up mainly around South Australia, a little bit in Victoria, and my people come from South Australia, an Aboriginal group called Ghana, which are the people of the Adelaide Plains in South Australia. Today, I'm a budding filmmaker. I'm learning about media. I do a bit of a radio show, and I'm also doing a bit of filming and editing as well. So I'm trying to get work in the media area, or to actually use the media to tell the stories from myself and from my family and from our people as well. Some of the most generous people I know have no money. And that's how it should be. When we have no money, it's a different lifestyle. When you see the old people, there was no, in our language, we have no such word as please or thank you, because it is what is expected of us is that we share and we give what we have. Today, we have to say please, we have to say thank you, we have to beg for things. In the old days, it was just a giving thing that we would share things. That was a part of who we are. And not only for Aboriginal people, I expect people all around the world would do the same things before money. But nowadays, it's mine. There are words like mine. There was no such word as mine in my culture. It is ours. It is a collective. It belongs to all of us. But today we have I, me, mine. And we don't share. We don't give. We don't give free of our spirit. We don't share our things anymore. And it's become, it kills us as human beings, as a society, as a race. When I say race, I'm talking about the human race. But we deny other people shelter. We deny other people food. We deny other people their survival purely because of money. When I do visit communities that are remote, that still live very much a semi-traditional lifestyle, I can see the difference where there's we don't have to pay. My son says, isn't it funny that when non-Aboriginal people have money, they eat crayfish, they eat abalone, and they eat quandongs. When our people have money, we eat Kentucky Fried, takeaway food, and when we haven't got money, then we eat crayfish, abalone, and quandong. Because that is our natural food and it's easy to get. Sometimes we take those things for granted. What other people see as a delicacy is our traditional food.
Wow.
For me, what would make a difference is I talked about my journey on public transport, and it seems that the seat next to me is always the last seat to be taken. And sometimes people will be standing in the aisles, but they will not take that seat. They are too scared to sit next to me. Please don't be afraid to sit next to me. Don't be afraid to say hello. Don't be afraid to smile. Don't be afraid to be sociable. Don't be afraid to get to know me. I do not bite. I would love to sit down and know who you are and hopefully let you know who I am, to share our stories and to understand each other fully.
Wow.
Yeah, he kind of puts it better than I could put it at the moment, so I thought I'd just let him say it. I actually found it very moving, that what he says there, very moving.
Heavy. That was real deep. And this is the time that we're living in the M's, the monkey man machine era. You know, the transformation of the M's. Yeah, it's all about me now. You know, you and the lifestyle of me, the great me, the ME. The greater I am, you know, because you got to think about that, right? If God told Moses, he didn't even tell him what his name is. He gave him a phrase, I am that I am. So could you imagine, well, you can pretty much see how people are thinking. Due to some of those word quotes, spiritual quotes. I am, you know, acceptable, you know, because at one time you was in the closet with your I ams. Out of the closet. I ain't talking about gay. I'm just talking about you out of the closet with your I ams. You're talking about your purpose. You're talking about your abilities. You're talking about how great you are. You're talking about how smart you are. You know, everything's about you, me, when collectively, you know, it was about us. I mean, we can even take this Google thing here for an example. It started off as the great us. You know, we've seen some me attitudes on here. Have a level of me. I ain't gonna front. I got a level of meanness, and that's strictly because the great ME got my first EM. So yeah, I'm definitely dealing with the great me.
Right.
You know, and when I'm thinking I'm not feeling successful or how success is when it comes to this, it's just like I'm pretty much grading the people, and I don't think that's right. Grade your success based upon people, because you got some people gonna like you, you got some people not gonna like you, you got some people gonna like what you say, and you got some people that's not gonna like what you say. So never grade yourself based upon the people success, based upon the people, because if we was basing it upon the people that show up or the views that we get, the views that I get, or the people that show up to my shows, I'm with the people. Because it ain't many. Did come or do come, they faithful. So you got to treat them right. The people that you encounter all the time, every day, hey, first of all, be glad they're alive and they're on the planet, first of all, before they even come on the show. Could have died the night before, or, you know, anything could have fucking happened to prevent you from even checking into these abilities. You got to acknowledge that. You know, whether if we believe anything, you know, but believe in whoever woke you up or you woke yourself up or whatever, we first got to acknowledge that we here. You know, and if you can't acknowledge that we here, then you shouldn't even be here. Way before you start kung fu fighting with your fingers, give some acknowledgement to the room. If you present yourself friendly, the friendliness may come back, or at least that's the expectation. With cliches, what goes around comes around, and then when they don't, we pissed off. You know? So I think if you really think, I mean, because we are some real intelligent folks, you know, we can be on some other shit if we want to, but for the most part, we can be 99 when we come on here. Belligerent and an asshole and a fuck you kind of guy. We don't have to be those personalities. of us are intelligent when we come on here because we come on here to share our shit. We ain't come on here to, I ain't come on here to finger fight. Act like it don't exist.
Right.
The level of forgiveness even in the finger fighting. Do you forget what you wrote? Is it Murder, She Wrote? Which one is it? So I think I think we as grown-ups, we still got a lot more to grow up.
Yes, we do. All of us.
Yeah, because we even though we say the Bible say that Jesus said come as a child, and I don't fuck with the Bible, but you come on here as a child. Because of your personalities. Help. As opposed to helping somebody. You don't always have to be McNulty, meaning the smartest person in the room. You ain't always got to show it. That was one thing about Jeff C. He was McNulty back in the day. Tuned in on the Wednesday or the Fridays, pretty much to hear what Jeff had to say. We like Robert and Infinity and everybody else, and even B. Smiley and Chad Lilly. We liked everybody else, but we wanted to hear what Jeff C. had to say. So if Jeff was the one that set the stage, the premises, everybody else is supposed to follow up like that. But where have we came from? Of Google Light, have we learned from the Sip Kips wars and all these other places where we've had problems at? I mean, have we learned to deal with anonymouses and all this other kind of stuff that takes us away from home? Saw another TV and Baba TVs, everything that drug me away from this original platform. That turned me into a cracker writer. Maybe I can say it like that. I started writing for the cracker. I went through a cracker version of black powerness. Who am I trying to impress? Grave. What am I trying to prove? You talk about a transition. In some cases, it's some bullshit. Oh, it's just a transition. It's just something else, a phase. Like, no, man, stop that bullshit. Because how you gonna go from loving everybody to hating somebody? No. Stop that bullshit. How you gonna go from loving it, claiming to love everybody, and then all of a sudden you hating somebody? I don't know. Maybe it's about maintaining the love and the compassion. Maybe that's what it is. We ain't maintaining it. We got it, or maybe we ain't using it. Maybe we don't want to use it. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like you want to blame Donald Trump for you being an asshole. Like, no. Don't let nobody change who you are. Nobody. When Obama was president, I liked everybody. Now Donald Trump president, I don't like white people no more. See, that's that bullshit. I'm saying you was rubbing Jeff C. balls, making videos about him. Oh, Jeff, oh, Robert, tributes and shit like that. Come on, you can't be fake. You can't be fake, so I gotta first check my own doors. Are we selected? Are we selective now of who we like and who we don't like? Based upon opinions and not facts? Oh, because he said this, I don't like him no more. I don't like her no more. So that's what the real no mores really meant. I don't like you. I kept seeing the commercial, no more, no more, no more. I know it was for domestic violence, but it really meant I don't like you no more. I don't fuck with you no more. That's what they was really trying to put out there, because that's what we really seeing here. That's what we really seeing here. You let your ego get in the way. Lego my ego. You know, come on. Where's the self-control that we all preached about? How come it's not being used in 2017? It's been a couple of years now, family. Or we're a fake family. I'm done. Jay, get it off your chest. Hopefully I help somebody.
Yeah, I hope so.
We all dealing with something.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying.
this is the platform to come to and be free to talk about whatever we want to talk about. Unlimited adventure. This is what it started off as, an unlimited adventure. We can come on here and just let it rip and be free. Ooh, so many regulations, and then it just turn you into the beast that you bang on, but just with another face. You become the preacher now. You say you hate church, but yet you become the preacher.
Anyway, everybody's welcome in the chat. Nobody has to go. So yeah, I want to say what's up to that Kylie man, delete Lewis. Yeah, it's all good because in some cases, family we fight. You know, I ain't gonna act like I ain't never been a little upset. But it's like it's how you deal with it at the end of the day. You know, do you continue? Do you do what I did? I went in what 83 to 82, 82 to 83 hits on B Smiley. I think that's overboard. That's way extreme. You know, that's just too much typing. You know, you're starting to like it at that point. You know, you're starting to like it at that point. It's almost criminal. You know, it's almost criminal. Some stuff that we do. You know, but let's learn to pump the brakes and use the brakes. You know, put a stopper to that shit. Have a safe button. You know, because like I said, every time I see you in the room, I'm gonna always be beefing with you. Oh, here come this guy again. Oh, here he come. Oh, here she come. Oh, you know, I can't open my doors. I can't open my windows. Why? Because you coming in with that bullshit. I had something to say, but they're not watching anymore. So, I guess. But anyway.
I'm sorry, Becky.
That's okay. Anyway. Hey, everybody there in the chat. Collyman, Lewis, Delete, Dud, whoever else, Eric, and David. So, thank y'all for joining. I clicked the wrong button. I'm sorry. Anybody can join. If you want to wait till after, that's cool. So, thanks for joining, and I'll see you again. I was going to go longer, but yeah, anyway. Like I said, if you want to join afterwards, feel free. If not, private, whatever. Anyway, thanks for joining. Peace, and I love you. I'm sorry, cut this short, but anyway, see you later.